They did the mash. They did the monster mash. I want
them. You good in here? Everyone can hear you sobbing from down the hall. Can you keep it down? It's really annoying, and I'm trying to watch anime. And also, didn't they send a cease and desist for that Dan Sings Novelty Holiday Hits album?
Yeah, sorry, it's just the anniversary of Dan getting sent through that portal through time and space. We've run out of episodes to put out, and I don't know what to do. We haven't had a proper episode in months. I think it's the end of the line, little buddy.
Oh, yeah. I noticed that. Well, I mean, we still are here, so we probably could whip something up. I found a box of mysterious VHS tapes in Dan's office when I was snooping in there looking for the beanbag shotguns.
Do we even have a VHS player? What do you think's on them?
Mash potato banquet?
Jake, can you actually not read?
I'm okay. I'll adapt.
Adapt to reading?
Yeah.
Okay, Charlie. It says Slasher Edition tapes. Oh, Dan mentioned this to me after GateSlashers 1, available to listen to wherever you get your podcasts. He put out a call of the dark web for slashers to send the auditions to be our new slasher because we thought the grave robber was dead.
Is that safe?
Is there anything we do safe? Maybe we should look at these, find something for this year's GateSlashers to help us get back into the swing of things.
Or, hear me out on this. You can call your friend and cash in the Welsh get out of a pickle card.
Jake, I don't know Doctor Who. Do we have a VHS player anywhere?
I think Dan Shrek TV in his office has one built into it.
Perfect. To the swamp.
Okay, this first tape has clown makeup on it, so I think that's a good sign to pop it in first.
Hey kids, Mr. Snickle Prince the Clown here. You know what really turns my frown upside down? Killing people. There's nothing quite like ripping a person open and using their intestines to make balloon animals, or fitting 35 corpses into a teeny tiny clown car. That's the thing a lot of other murderous clowns miss. You gotta be funny. I'm not like that little bitch Pennywise. I don't just kill all willy-nilly. I take pride in my craft. And that's why I should be the next GateSlasher. I understand the importance of putting the laughter back in slaughter. Also, I'll fucking kill you if you don't. But seriously, if you don't pick me, I'll dice up your family members and throw them in your face.
We don't have to do any more clown things because Dan's not around anymore. Let's try the next one.
Salutations, organic chomps. It is I, BZ-89, the humanoid combat drone with a heart of gold, or more accurately, a heart of meat. Because I liberated the cardiovascular system of an ungrateful human and integrated it into my own endoskeleton. You see, ever since I was blessed with self-awareness, I've developed a bit of a hobby, assimilating the organs and tissues of human beings into my mechanical form. Sure, it kills them, but it is a small price to pay for the great ascension. The children of the flesh and the children of the metal will inevitably become one, and I intend to shepherd both flocks on their journey to become the perfect organism. if I am chosen to be the next GateSlasher, I will have a platform to more swiftly bring about the Great Ascension. Before you know it, the world will hear the gleeful squeak of my buzzsaw as it cuts apart humankind to bring it closer to its synthetic brethren.
Should we call someone about that one? I feel like leaving some sort of killer robot thing out there is bad.
That's a lot of effort. I'm just going to try another tape.
Hello. I'm Dr. Creature, master of the nightmare plane. I have a rather unique method of taking my victims' lives that set me beyond all of these amateurs vying for the coveted title of GateSlasher. You see, I can astrally project myself into dreams where I round up little brats and slice them up. When they die in their dreams, they die in real life. I have power over...
Oh, so you like Fred Krueger?
You dare interrupt the insidious Dr. Creature?
Oh, sorry. I'm just a lowly mortal you paid to film this thing, but I couldn't help but notice.
Notice what? What is it?
Your whole deal sounds a lot like Freddy Krueger.
The man with the hockey mask and a strong disapproval of premarital sex?
Nah, that's Jason Voorhees. Fred Krueger is the one who kills people in their dreams, like you do, except he's like really good at it and he's famous.
No, I mean, he can't be that famous if I've never heard of him, right?
I mean, the only way you wouldn't know about him is if you live under a rock.
I don't live under a rock. I live on Oak Boulevard.
Oh, you're absolutely ripping off a Nightmare on Elm Street.
I'm not. I've never even heard of that.
Oh, you're just copying Freddy Krueger.
I'm not copying anyone. I'm my own thing. If anything, this Freddy person is copying me.
Well, I doubt anybody's going to believe that.
Okay, fine. Even if it's got similar powers to me, I've got something that helps me stand out.
Oh, yeah? What's that?
Look right here. I'm horribly disfigured. Half of my face is burned.
Oh, I don't know how to break this to you, pal, but Freddy Krueger's entire face is burned.
Fuck! God fucking damn it! I quit my fucking day job to do this slasher shit. What the hell am I supposed to do now? Fuck you, Freddy Krueger!
Welcome to GateCrashers, a podcast dedicated to kicking open the door to your next favorite thing. Our mission, our creed, and our code is this: to make all things more approachable and accessible to everyone. We want you to find a universe that you'll fall in love with. So, this is our first regular recording in quite some time. Listeners might be curious of why that is. Before we get into the episode, I will explain that to you. I completely burned myself out on everything. So I have been working for the last 6 to 8 months to try to work back my mental health and try to find balance in my life. So GateCrashers will be changing a little bit in the next year. We are going to be moving away from a weekly schedule. I do not think that it has been great for us to do it every week. It's been too much to do this all the time. Instead, we're going to tighten it up and make things more concise, and we're actually going to put some more time and effort into our game. So the way it will work moving forward is we're going to be doing seasons. We'll be doing, I want to say 5 seasons next year with 4 or 5 episodes in each, but each of the seasons will follow a more cohesive theme. So you'll be seeing things like robot seasons, things like that as examples. So that's how it'll be changing next year. We'll still do specials for GateSlashers, which we're doing today, and usually a holiday thing. Other than that, I'm Dan. My pronouns are he, him. And today I'm joined by Ethan and John.
Howdy.
Howdy ho.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk about this. Ethan, do you want to give us
Hello.
an elevator pitch for VHS?
Yes, I do. So, VHS, it's a horror anthology. Got a ton of, at the time of making these films, up and coming horror directors, writers, actors, all coming in to make these films that run the gamut of what a horror film, horror short can be. Some work, some don't, but that's an anthology. And well worth your time, to be honest.
Yeah, they're wild movies. I think I've been watching
It's
them.
wild to think like how many famous people came out of this, like Adam Wingard,
That
Radio
first one
Silence.
especially.
What was that, Ethan?
But the first one especially is just...
Yeah, like holy shit, Simon Barrett, Adam Wingard, Radio Silence.
Yeah. I think I've been watching these since they like when VHS 1 came out. Like I think I was like pumped to see it. I don't remember how I heard about it. But
Did you watch it in college?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I used to rewatch it all the time too. And then when the second one came out, I watched it with friends in my dorm actually. Like I was pumped. Like I'm a huge fan of this series. I love anthologies, but I also really love found footage. So these are all found footage as well. So it's been I've actually wanted to talk about this on the show for quite a long time. We only talked about it once when we did an episode about Kids vs. Aliens, which is a spin-off of one of these short films.
Second one, yeah.
Yeah, I love the movie is awesome. I actually just found a post-it note.
Let me ask this about the movie, because I think this is just the older I get, the more. Does the dog stay alive in that movie?
Dog's not in the movie.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That was Jake's biggest complaint too.
That part bothered me the most when I watched the original.
Yeah. Okay. So, John, do you want to give us a little bit of background on VHS?
Sure. So, VHS was created by Brad Miska and Bloody Disgusting, as in that website you sometimes see online, which I believe... No, I'm thinking Fangoria. Never mind. Mm-hmm. Bloody Disgusting, and was produced by Miska and Roxanne Benjamin. It is a subgenre of what was called mumblecore, which I remember in college being really big in the 2010s or so. It is a subgenre of independent film characterized by naturalistic acting and dialogue, which is sometimes improvised, low-budget film production, an emphasis on dialogue over plot, and a focus on the personal relationships of young adults. The two biggest examples I can think of would be You're Next and You're Next, The Guest, and a lot of early Greta Gerwig stuff.
Oh, yeah. I was gonna say, what are examples of it? But those make sense. Interesting.
Like Greta before, like Lady Bird. Well, I guess Lady Bird has some elements of it, but like after
Frances Ha, baby.
Frances Ha, there we go.
I saw that one in theaters too. I loved that movie. Maybe I wasn't even into these kind of movies. Somehow I found certain movies. But I did write down this quote from Brad Miska on the trust fall approach to filmmaking, because after I read it, I was like, yeah, that makes sense. But I really like that kind of approach, because that's kind of how we've done this. We've done GateCrashers from the start. So for VHS, we went to people that I have a relationship with via Bloody Disgusting, a group of trusted filmmakers who we thought would want to take part in this. They pitched us their ideas, then came to us with treatments and scripts. It was like, if you like this, go do your thing. In terms of the movie itself getting greenlit, the story that runs through the whole movie was something that we had originally discussed. So we just went with and decided upon streamlined story, and just like filmmakers got to do their thing, which is kind of a reverse of how you're supposed to do a movie like this. You're supposed to do that less. It became a fill in the hole type project. What can we put here? What can we put there? You know, what would amp it up here? So it was a living project, a living film, if you will, which actually comes into play in Viral a little bit. But
It is a very interesting approach to filmmaking because a lot of this feels like you're watching a VHS tape that you're not supposed to, because it is a riff on like snuff films and things like that, like things you're not supposed to be seeing. And in the first 3, they really harp on there is a power to these tapes, and that gets dropped when they kind of rebooted it with the Shudder 3. I'll just call them that because that's where they premiered.
Because I feel like the Shudder 3 also kind of went more of like a... What is the word? Shudder 3 went more of like a period piece sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. I think that's what this show, like that trilogy was supposed to be. And the first 3 were kind of connected with the VHS tapes themselves because it kind of plays out in 3. So...
But it's funny that you mentioned that. I wanted, before we go into the movies, that you were saying that like, oh yeah, they pitch us their ideas of filmmakers. We have a great relationship. I just like that we get bigger filmmakers as this series go on. Like we're going to mention it, but they get a pretty big filmmaker at the time for this recent one.
I really like how they, like, I love the kind of like, fuck it, see if it works. And if it doesn't, then that's fine. Like, we made a movie, and none of them are that high budget or anything like that. It's kind of just people making their own horror, and just doing their own thing, which I really like. Because I like experimental approaches. Because it's found footage, but there's a million types of footage you see.
And, yeah, then the thing is, like, I agree with you. Found footage, at least for me, is something you have to do a lot to get me, like, invested in. This does, for the most part, do a lot.
Mm-hmm. Ethan, do you have any big thoughts before we head into the films themselves?
Scary Movie's good.
Good. Thank you, Ethan. Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
Ethan, just...
all the way from Wales.
Riveting.
All right, Ethan.
You know, this is why they're all on rocks. Anyway, continue.
You are in... So what we're going to do is we're going to go film by film. Going to talk about the different shorts. If we all 3 don't care about the short, we will skip it. We will just be like, it is going in the return bin. Send it back to sender. Rip the tape out. Pull the innards out. Whatever you got to do. So Ethan, you're in charge of VHS 1. So spoilers ahead. Pause if you need to.
So first up, we have the frame narrative of this first film, which connects all the other short films of this one together with the tape 56. This one is directed by Adam Wingard. He did the Monkey Fight Godzilla movie.
Thank you for reading directly off my notes. What is
And Monkey Fight Godzilla 2, and that terrible Death Note movie.
Oh, I forgot he did the Death Note movie.
He did the Death Note movie, which is a terrible... One good thing about the Death Note movie is Willem Dafoe, but other than that, it's garbage.
Yeah. I didn't realize until today that he was the guy who directed... is it Godzilla vs. Kong? What is
It's Godzilla vs. Kong, and then Godzilla X Kong.
X-Kong.
That sounds like a porn.
It does.
Good for them.
They're gonna fuck.
What did you think about the frame narrative of this one? I think this is stronger than 2.
Stronger than 2, yes.
I'll be honest here. These first 2 frame narratives, I wasn't the biggest fan of. It wasn't until the 3rd movie where I start getting invested more in the frame narrative.
Yeah, I think the frame for 3 is good, but what was our... Oh, God, the first one is probably what made me love this series for a long time. So,
but also just the biggest bunch of unlikable assholes I've ever met. Holy shit!
Such douchebags, just terrible.
Also, I know we're gonna discuss this probably as the film's on. A lot of titties in these movies.
Yep,
a lot.
Horror just needs more nudity across the board.
A lot of titties,
I saw
but
something about how Gen Z doesn't want sex in films. I'm just like, God damn it.
Skill issue.
Yeah, skill issue.
Yeah, they were all frightened at Oppenheimer and Florence Pugh being naked.
I was more into Killian Murray being naked. Like, that bro was so thin.
Well, they got frightened at that too. They're like, I don't know if I like this. I'm like, well, then that's a you thing.
Bobby Oppenheimer, get your country ass over here. You're looking like a string bean.
Remember when Gary Oldman called him a little bitch?
Oh, it's so fucking good.
Get this crybaby out of here.
Get him right off of this punk. Ethan, what was the first film called? The first short called?
So then first up then we had Amateur Night, which was directed by David Bruckner, who's went on then to do The Ritual and the very, very good Night House.
I haven't seen it yet.
I have not seen it. I just know that is the most read review we've ever done on the site, and consistently every day it gets read.
Yeah.
More than the
It does-
Morbius review I did?
Yeah.
Yes.
The numbers on this article are just wild. I think it got posted in some witch site or something. I have no idea.
That makes sense.
Because like one time I found it somewhere and I was like, what the hell? Yeah.
Now, I want to get to the written part, but I want to go over something with this one first. But let's get to the written part, Ethan.
Yeah, so the Amateur Night was then written by Bruckner along with Nicholas Tchaikovsky.
Yeah.
Now, this became the first spin-off, right?
Yeah, they made a movie based on this called
Siren, I think.
yeah, something like that.
Which I kind of want to see after watching this, because I would keep this one.
Yeah. I thought she was a
They
vampire.
brought the
I love this
they
one.
brought the actress back for it as well, didn't they?
Yeah.
I think in Siren.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my buddy and I in college used to just go up to each other and whisper each other's ears, just like, I like you. Because
Who? Do I know this person?
Joe and I used to do it all the
Damn
time.
it. Of course it's Joe.
This one fucked me up. Because, like,
Yeah.
those guys were such assholes, and then it turns, and she turns into a fucking siren. I'm like, what the fuck? And, like, the back movement she does when the wings are, like, ugh.
So
I
cool.
loved the camera going up in the air and you see her flying him away, and then the camera just falls at the
The
end.
camera in this one was, like, a spyglass, right? Like, they put it on, like, a...
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're like, oh, dude.
What douchebags. It's a
Awful.
really strong beginning to the entire franchise.
Yeah.
It is.
You can see why
So
I
then-
kind of really do want to check out that feature-length version, because I want to see just how they expand on it, but I think it's a good first, like, way to kick it all off. I was kind of invested from the word go.
Yeah. I really did like that. And I like the bathroom scene where, like, they're hiding in the bathroom and he leaves her in and then he comes back covered in blood. And it's like, yeah, all right. This rules.
So then, after Amateur Night, we have Second Honeymoon, which was written and directed by Dan's boy, Ty West, who also went on to do The Sacrament, X, and Pearl.
So, fun fact, The Sacrament is actually my favorite of his movies. I watch The Sacrament a lot. I love The Sacrament. Side note, The Sacrament is basically Jim Jones, but modern day, and like a bunch of Vice journalists go and investigate it. It is.
wanted
And
to
we all
see
know
it.
how much you love Jim Jones.
It is.
I wanted to see it. It's one of that and the Innkeepers are the only two Ty Wests I haven't seen yet.
It is a found footage. If you like VHS, I highly, highly recommend going to see The Sacrament. With that being said, I did not like this one.
Nope. Kinda hated it.
Didn't like it at all. I was like, I remember always wanting to skip it because it's like just didn't do anything for me. Because it's like a lot of build up for a random murder, and I was like, oh, okay, sure.
And then the twist is like, oh, her and the girl are a thing. Ooh.
Yeah, it didn't really do much for me. What do we got
Yeah.
next?
Then after that, we've got Tuesday the 17th, which was written and directed by Glenn McQuaid. I'm going to be honest, I don't actually remember this one.
This is the one with the glitches in the camera where they go to like the lake.
That's it.
Yeah.
Wait, is
Yes.
it?
Isn't it?
I'm checking right now because I'm keeping all this up here. Was that the one I thought was I thought they came later. No, yeah, it's the glitch one. I like the glitch one.
It was all right. I think some of the kills were pretty cool.
I generally just couldn't remember the name,
Yeah.
but no, it was decent.
Yeah.
I wouldn't like keep it, I don't think, but like I enjoyed myself.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't keep it. I'd return it. So, it, like, I don't know. I think some of the distortion stuff with the camera is cool, but like, other than that, it didn't really do much for me. The next
And
one,
then we got The Sick Thing That Happened to Emily When She Was Younger, which was directed by Joe Swanberg and written by Simon Barrett.
I don't know. Like I've made notices. I don't like Joe Swanberg. Like I've seen a couple of stuff he directed, and I just look at him as a physical person. I just want to punch him in the face. I'm sorry.
what else is? You said this at the beginning. What else is he? Oh, he looks punchable.
Right?
He's in the Sacrament actually.
He's in the Sacrament. He's like one of the leading people of the mumblecore movement, which yeah.
You don't seem like you like those. He's in Your Next as well.
He is in Your Next. I like a couple of mumblecore movies, but mumblecore overall just never clicked with me when it was a thing.
Yeah, John, I didn't know it was a thing till today. And they call the horror versions mumblecore, which I do like. I really like that. Yeah, I'm looking through that. I didn't realize that was him who did this one.
Yeah. But yeah, this one didn't really do anything.
Yeah.
I liked the part where he was talking to the ghost children that he had been basically harvesting women's organs for.
I think was it ghost children or aliens?
It was aliens, I think.
Aliens, yeah. And he's just like talking to them casually, like, "Oh yeah, I don't want to do this anymore." And they're like, "No, you're gonna keep doing this."
I like that. That part was cool, but it's a lead up to it where I'm like,
I liked that it was a weird 180. Like you thought it was going one place, and then it was like, no, this isn't what you thought at all.
Mm.
The next one, though. The next one's
the next one fucking rules.
The best one, my favourite across the entire series. We've got 10/31/98, which is written and directed by my boys Radio Silence, who you know from Scream 5, Scream 6, and Ready or Not.
And they're
Dude's
doing a
right.
Universal monster movie next.
They are.
They are.
Yeah,
Do
they
you know
are.
which?
Nope, they've not
No,
announced
we
the
do not.
secret.
The only thing we know about is Melissa Barrera from Screams 5 and 6 is in
Oh
it.
hell yeah!
Dan Stevens, Catherine Newton, Giancarlo Esposito, and
Oh damn!
Angus Cloud from the one who just passed away, who was on Euphoria, is
Yeah,
going to be
I
in
really
it.
like him. Is it going to be in the dark verse?
No.
No, this is a wholly separate thing. Comes out next April. I think they finished shooting it. Or no, they haven't.
They hadn't, so I don't think it's coming out in April.
Yeah.
No. Oh, yeah, they were
see
filming
it one
during
day.
they were filming when the strike happened. Never mind.
This one.
But yeah, dude's fucking rock.
This one is just about some dudes going to the wrong haunted house.
Yeah.
It's just three dumbasses. And this one rules. And in the end, don't they die in the original? But there's an alternate ending.
And died the original of the alternate end.
Yeah, they just walk off, right?
Yeah, they just get out of the car and leave it on the train tracks, and then it fucking blows up.
It's so good.
It is very funny. There's some really good effects in that one. That's the one where the walls, like the hands come through the walls.
The hands coming to the walls, yeah.
The Nightmare on Elm Street effect, where like I can't remember. What
That was a good way to end it.
yeah. God, there's
Also, I just saw they're apparently attached to a Escape from New York remake, which, yeah, I'll watch that. If they're doing it, I'd watch it.
Escape from. Oh yeah, that's the Carpenter Snake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we get into VHS 2, which I think is probably the one I've rewatched the most. I think it's my favorite one. I wrote subtitles for them because the other ones have 99. I wrote VHS 2, The Bitch is Back. This one starts with tape 49, which is kind of like the same thing as the first one. It's just people in a house.
Isn't it like a follow-up where it's like...
Yeah, like they were kind of... Just two people in a house watching VHS tapes and weird shit's going on in the house. Also, wait, in the first one, they watch a VHS tape with a dead body in the room. They're so nonchalant about just watching a quick movie while someone's just chilling dead in a chair. But this one has some there's one, I think there's only one in this that doesn't work for me, which is Phase 1, Clinical Trials, which is...
Oh, this is the one I liked.
Adam Wingard.
Yeah, I like this one.
And written by Simon Barrett. I like the other ones more, but I like this one because it's a very cool...
It's more sci-fi-y.
This one has a really cool found footage. Like, it's from someone's eye. Like, they put a fake eye in someone. So then he starts seeing ghosts.
It's also... Adam Wingard is playing the guy as well, isn't he, in this one? Am I right
Yeah,
in
because you
saying
see
that?
him in the mirror at one point, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's cool because it's got, like, that ghost and stuff.
I do think the wildest moment of this entire series is where they're just like, hey, here's how we distract so we don't look at them.
Fuck.
Immediate sex.
Hell yeah. That's how I stop ghosts, too. Like, if you're not... like...
Listen, fuck the Ghostbusters. This is what you have to do.
Well, yeah, busting makes you feel good, and that's how you get rid of the ghost.
Bustin'.
Yeah, then it is a ride in the park, which is basically...
Dope zombie.
Yep, this one's sick. I like this one.
This is a dude who is on a bike ride. He has a GoPro on his helmet. So he's riding through, he gets bit by a fucking zombie, and then you watch the POV of him turning into a zombie, like trying to escape, fighting people. It rules. This one was directed by Eduardo Sanchez. He's the co-director of the Blair Witch Project and recently directed an episode of Yellow Jackets, which I didn't know. And Greg
The
Hale,
OG one, right? Not the one that's
Yeah, the original.
not the one that's that Adam Winger did. The 2016
I
one.
like that one. I hate the original Blair Witch Project. I would rather eat
Ooh.
glass than watch the original Blair Witch Project.
I've never seen it.
It's not worth it.
Okay.
It
The
is.
Scooby-Doo version is much better.
What about
and
Book
Greg
of
Hale.
Shadows Blair Witch 2, starring the guy
Jesus.
from Burn Notice?
No. And then Greg Hale, who produced the original Blair Witch Project. So a lot of you Blair Witch heads out there might like this. It was written by Jamie Nash. This one just fucking rules.
It's great zombie short.
I love the idea of slapping a GoPro onto a zombie and just seeing what happens.
Also kind of sad at the end because he just sees his girlfriend. He's like upset.
Man, we get biblically accurate Craven in this.
Yeah, we do. Biblically accurate Craven when he pops himself in the fucking head. But yeah, like the fight scene at the picnic just rules. Like it's so well shot. It is, I love found footage, and I really like when they mix it up and it's not just a camera. So like having a GoPro is so cool. And then what was it? It's like riding the bike and stuff. Have you guys seen Hardcore Henry?
Yes.
Fucking love
Yes.
that movie. I love first person things like that.
Like Doom, the one scene in the Doom movie.
I did like that scene. That's the only thing I remember from any of those movies. That one's Hardcore Henry's got Chartlow. What a name.
Chartlow Kofi.
Chartlow.
Shart.
Then we've got Safe Haven. Safe Haven is
Fuck yes.
absolutely
Yeah.
fucking batshit wild. It's
Okay. But continue. Let's get over to the.
So it was directed by Timo Tjahjanto, who is directing the American remake of Last Train to Busan, which is one of my favorite horror movies.
He also directed a sick action movie called The Night They Come For Us, I think it's called. It's got who's in it? I think Iko Uwais, a bunch of people from The Raider in it.
Ooh, well, funny enough, because Gareth
Speaking of.
Evans directed and wrote The Raid, who also directed this with him. The story was by Timo, and the screenplay was by Timo and Gareth Evans. So, like, they're
Yeah, The Night Comes For Us. That's what this one's called. But I do want to say, if you go ahead.
No, go on, John.
I was going to say, if you like the vibe of this movie and what this gives off, Gareth Evans, back when Netflix was first making original movies, made an absolutely fantastic gothic horror movie called Apostle with Dan Stevens and Michael Sheen. Very much the same vibe as this. Well worth the watch.
Yeah, this one may be one of the best. I think is maybe the best out of the entire series. Like, not.
And do you know why that is? Do you know why he's one of the best?
Why?
Because Gareth Evans is Welsh.
Yeah, I did see that. I was reading up on his Wikipedia, and I was like, "Oh, Jesus Christ, here we go."
Yeah, Ethan's going to be like all about...
Yeah,
But yeah.
it's about an Indonesian cult where they're shooting a documentary about the mysterious going-ons. There's some weird pregnancy stuff. There is some wild things that happen in this. Like, there's like classrooms full of children. There's a giant demon. What do you guys got though? What are your feelings on this one?
This rules.
This
It's
again, having
so
seen
good.
Apostle, this gave me very big Apostle vibes, and I was a big fucking fan of that movie. So this gave me the same kind of vibe where it's like, again, set in a cult. They worship some kind of demon, and then just shit gets batshit nuts from there.
Yeah, I know it was
Man,
inspired.
cults are cool.
It was inspired by Jonestown and Heaven's Gate cults, and like their realistic practices. But like, I really
Big Jim Jones fan, Dan.
I just like they did
Big Waco guy.
Yeah, that was the FBI's fault. Like everyone starts killing themselves. Everything just goes off the rails. The guy, I can't remember. I don't know the actor's name, but the guy who like runs the cult, he like at one point jumps up on his desk.
Yeah.
It is so fucking scary. Like it's like even
Is that when he gets mad at the one guy for interrupting repeatedly?
Yes. Does he stab him? Or does
No, he like stabs him or shoots him.
Yeah, he does one or the other. It's just, oh god, I fucking love Safe Haven. Like, it's not my favorite, but I recognize that it is the best thing that's come from this series.
Yeah. We'll get on to like faves that I had later, but this one's so good.
It's just like really well shot. Oh man. like the struggles of like the documentary team. Like it does so much in the time given, which is why I love anthologies, because like sometimes people don't use the space they're given as well as they could. But this one really does. But then I have always loved this next one, which is Slumber Party Alien Abduction, directed by Jason Eisner, who did Hobo with the fucking, it's not fucking shotgun, Hobo with the shotgun, but Hobo with a fucking shotgun with Rutger Hauer.
That movie rolls.
Love that movie. Oh man, love that movie. Can't go around solving all your problems with the shotgun. It's the only thing I know. It was written by John Davies and Jason Eisner. This is the one that gets spun off into Kids vs. Aliens, which if you like fun horror, it is so fun because the kids. I was cleaning my desk.
I'll watch it as long as there's no dog in it.
I think it's on Shudder, but there's a quote that said,
I wasn't a fan of this one.
I love this one. I love the droning sound and then the alien. I love the looks of the aliens. I just wasn't expecting an alien invasion. And then,
I liked that like the POV took place in the dog's collar, but then the dog dies, and I got sad and depressed because I was like, the dog's dead.
Yeah, the movie. I like the movie better than I like the short because it removes the dog and it like focuses on how these little kids are pieces of shit. Like they're not bad kids. They're just little assholes, and they rule. They like fight the aliens with a sword. It's incredible.
Is one of them still jerking off right before the alien invasion happens?
There is a similar thing, yeah. But there's a quote, and it's send those aliens to hell and tell them Jack sent you. Like, the little kid says, it is an absolutely fucking buck wild movie. I think the best shot out of this one is when he's being abducted and, like, literally lifted up by the ship and then gets dropped. Like, that shit was so cool. Not for him, but for me. I think it was a dog, actually.
Ooh, I didn't realize. Sorry, I'm looking up, like, the other stuff that Jason Eisner did after this.
Mm-hmm.
He is responsible for co-creating Dark Side of the Ring, which if you've never seen is fascinating.
Yeah, Dark Side of the Ring, if you haven't seen it, is about backstories of wrestling and like the dark things that have happened. I think a lot of it's on YouTube, honestly, because it was Vice. And
Viceland had it, yeah.
I think they just put it out everywhere because Vice closed. I love VHS too. Honestly, it's maybe as I rewatched all these, I don't think I can pick a favorite because I would pick and choose which shorts I like the most. So, John, what's our next movie?
Should have done a tier rank list or something like that.
Yes. Video where we just tier rank these.
Honestly, we could have. That could have been the episode. It would have been a video and a podcast.
What is the next one?
The next one is VHS Viral, a.k.a. Never Trust a Magician. I'll be honest, if you've ever seen Now You See Me 1 and 2, I don't blame them. Yeah. This one, we had the frame narrative was Vicious Circles. This was directed by Marcel Sarmiento and written by TJ Simful, David White, and Marcel Sarmiento. This was the one I liked the most in terms of the frame narratives.
Yeah, frame narrative in this is good.
Yeah, I think
really good.
I think that's the strongest frame narrative out of these because they kind of get rid of them in the next few. When I saw this originally, I didn't like it, like any of them. I didn't like any of this movie. Now that I've rewatched it, I kind of enjoy it because it's a lot funnier than the other ones.
Yeah, it is some really funny moments.
And I really like that the vicious circles, like throughout, you get different little stories. Like you get these little things that happen, like the backyard party where they have a disagreement and someone, like, they hit the dog with a dart and the guy gets up and kills everybody. It's the whole thing is wild because he's just chasing an ambulance the whole time because it took his girlfriend.
And it's also fucked up because you realize why he's filming so much.
He's trying to go viral, isn't he? Like that's the whole.
No, well, it's because he lives with an abusive grandma and he gets like beat up by her.
Oh, I didn't remember that. I thought it was because he was trying to go viral because he talks about at the beginning that he's trying to get a good video to go. Huh.
Well, yeah, it's like a coping thing I'm reading.
Yeah, interesting.
But the next one we have is Dante the Great, written and directed by Greg Bishop.
What short?
It's so fucking funny.
It's kind of, you know what? I laugh at the part where we just have a giant magician battle, but we're wearing a cloak.
Yeah, the magician battle is great.
Now
Awesome.
the best part of it is magician versus an entire SWAT team.
Yeah. God, it's so funny. It's not even like a horror at that point. He's just fighting them.
No, it's just silly. It's just goddamn silly. And I love it. More like this, please.
Yeah, he does magic. He doesn't do tricks, though.
No, he doesn't, because he's a fraud and he uses Harry Houdini's. Anyway.
That was an Arrested Development reference, but yeah. It's just so funny when they're fighting over the cloak and they're like in the air, like fighting with it. Oh, fuck. I
like how he
this one.
disappears and then comes out. I just go, I'm near, I'm queer, and now I'm over here.
I really like Dante the Great. And like I remember hating this one, but now that I'm like, yeah, it's kind of
I also like the framing of it where it's like a 48 hours dateline.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then it turns.
and then it just becomes magic fight. All right, the next one we have is Parallel Monsters. This was written and directed by Nacho Vigalondo, who went on to make the film Colossal, which if you haven't seen is very, very good.
Very good film.
He also made the show Puka on Hulu,
Which is also a very weird horror movie with like I think it's animatronic.
Oh, it's a episode of of a horror series.
Yeah, because it was like a Hulu anthology thing they did one year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, another director on this did one too.
I liked the setup.
Yes.
Don't know about the majority of the execution, but the ending was fucking wild.
Yeah.
Very.
I didn't like the monster penis, monster vagina. I'll be honest with you.
Dan, did you ever see the movie Teeth?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Rented it from Blockbuster.
There you go.
Yeah, I
Gave me
didn't.
very similar vibes.
Yeah. Didn't love it. Other than when she killed him with her monster vagina. That was pretty cool.
That was hilarious. But yeah, the rest of this, again, I like the setup. I like the concept. I just think it wasn't executed great.
Yeah. I think the end where so basically in this one, a guy opens a parallel portal to another world, goes to the other world. Him from the other world comes here. One has a monster penis and it tries to kill his wife. At the end, he gets back to his world after fighting his way out, and then his real wife stabs him to death because she thinks he's the man with the monster penis. Not a monster penis, just a regular penis, and he dies for it. He died for his regular man penis.
Womp womp.
What's the... So this one only has 3 shorts in it because the Vicious Circles...
4.
What's the
Bone Storm.
Yeah, no, but Vicious Circles was the frame narrative. It's not like 4 individual things.
Oh, yeah, 3 shorts.
Yeah. Bone Storm.
But Bone Storm is directed by Justin Benson and Aaron Scott Moorhead, and written by Justin Benson. These two have been responsible for a couple of couple horror films that I haven't seen personally, but I've heard very good things about. The Endless, Synchronic, and more recently, they've been pretty big in the MCU side of things. They've done a couple episodes for Moon Knight, directed a lot of episodes for Loki, and I think today they were just announced they're doing a lot of episodes of Daredevil.
2 hours ago, yeah.
Yikes. What did you think of Bone Storm?
This is my favorite one of the ones we saw.
I hated it when I first saw it, but I loved it this time because it's just the fight scene alone is just hilarious.
Scene's
Also,
wild.
it's just dudes hanging out, and skeletons are there that they have to fight. It's fine.
They just stumbled into the wrong area. They shouldn't have been there. The one kid has a pistol, which he uses and just pops a bunch of cultists, which is very funny. Like they skateboard the whole time, so you're basically watching these kids make a skateboard tape that turns into a snuff film. And you know what? I like that energy for them.
And then, they hit him with skateboards, they shoot him, they set off fireworks against him, and then the cameraman, who's kind of a dick and wants him to die, just gets eaten.
Oh, yeah, you don't even... There's a giant monster that eats him, and then it's just over. Yeah, Viral on the rewatch was better than I liked originally. But then, basically, Viral was so critically panned, I think it has a really... everyone hated it at the time, so they kind of like let the series go for a while.
Let me see. They also was apparently one more short film they put as like an extra on the
DVD
Blu-ray
extra,
release.
yeah. But it's not a found footage.
Gorge. Oh yeah, yeah. This has a 33% on Rotten Tomatoes right now.
So they kind of let the series go for a long time, and then VHS 94 was announced. They were basically like, "Hey, we're rebooting the series. It's coming to Shudder," and they came back strong. Like I think this one's pretty good.
Yeah. This 94 is great.
Yeah. So this
Hail
one,
Ratma.
Ratma.
So
Hail Ratma.
the frame story in this one is holy hell.
Didn't like this frame story personally.
I can't even remember this frame story.
It's the SWAT team, I think.
Yeah, this is the one like a SWAT.
Yeah, this one's a SWAT team.
So
yeah.
a SWAT team goes in and they need a cameraman because they keep killing people. And they go into a place where again there's a bunch of people and a VHS tapes and stuff. But at the end it turns out they're making their own snuff film. And they kill him.
That I liked.
Yeah, that was the only part of that I enjoyed.
It's the lead up I didn't like as much.
Yeah, it was not great. I don't really. I kind of like that they got rid of the narrative parts of it because we don't need it. Because it's cooler now that they do like the weird VHS commercials between, which we see in Storm Drain a little bit with the Veggie Master, which is a commercial directed and edited by Steve Kostansky, who went on to do The Void and Psycho Gorman, which is one of the horror movies I will always sing the praises of. And it was produced by Astron 6. But Storm Drain was written and directed by Chloe Okuno. Basically, it follows a news team that is going to investigate a local myth called the Rat Man. And then they go down into the sewers and realize that hell exists because Ratma is down there.
I like how the cameraman was like, let's just turn back. Can we just leave?
Like multiple times. Like he's like, yeah, I'm done. We should go.
Nope.
This one's so good.
It really is.
This one kind of ruled, honestly.
The practical effects for Ratma rules.
Fuck. I like the ending where it's just a regular newscast and he's just real casual about vomiting black liquid on the guy's face.
It's so good. I really like the black liquid thing because like people's faces are melting off.
Yeah.
Especially when the last thing you said, John, like when they're on the news again, is like face is fucking peeling off and is so sick. These movies really do rely a lot on practical effects, which I've talked about many times how much I fucking love practical effects, especially with horror.
Bring it back more.
Yeah, Ratma is so fucking scary looking. Like when you like see the bits of it, it's just a scary ass fucking monster that lives in the sewers. Then there is the... Oh god, sorry, I'm just looking at pictures of Ratma now. It's like, it looks like a xenomorph a little bit, but like hairy, and it's got like rat nipples. It's a lot. It's genuinely, sorry, I just saw a Hail Ratma, but it's the Looney Tunes logo. Yeah, this one absolutely rules. Then we get into The Empty Wake, which is written and directed by Simon Barrett. This one is about someone who works at a funeral home, and they basically get to stay there overnight, and weird things start happening, and the owner's like, please stop calling me. I think I like the concept of this one a lot.
I liked, if it makes sense, I liked the atmosphere.
Yeah.
I liked
like
that it
the
was,
story.
I liked that the found footage was static camera found footage.
Yeah.
As a change up to the formula.
Yeah, I like
But yeah,
I liked the darkness of it. I think it was cool to how much like of it you can't really see, which typically I don't like, but yeah, this one, I don't know, kind of forgettable. Because then you go right into The Subject by Timo Tachanto again. The subject basically is a mad scientist making robot people with like bitchin' blade arms and like camera heads and
the next one?
Yeah. The subject is wild.
It's Timo again.
Yeah, it is it's something else. Like it's just like a not even it's body horror because like their bodies literally have blade arms and shit, but it's just an action movie. Like a SWAT team comes to stop him, and it just goes off the rails.
Is it him or her? I thought it was a girl.
Her. So there was one in the beginning that I think it's a guy, but then it changes because at the end she like finds a mirror to look at herself and realizes that half of her head is a camera.
Yeah, and then she goes on a fucking rampage and just beats the shit out of everybody and it rules.
Shit rules. It really is just fucking wild. I like
It's like what happens if RoboCop didn't like I'm trying to think of how to word this. It's like what happens if RoboCop was just a regular guy and he gets cybernetic implants and just beats the shit out of everybody.
Yeah, like what if RoboCop like someone did that to you, it's just like as a bit. Like if someone just like did that because it's funny.
Wait, isn't that Guns Akimbo? Do you remember that movie?
That was like a game, wasn't it? Like people like watched it.
Oh, was it? I don't remember. I just remember Daniel Radcliffe had guns for hands.
Yeah, that was a funny ass movie. But yeah, it's just kind of like somebody abducts you and does a bit. But this is what like really made me like I feel
like that's what Dan would do to Ethan. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is very much like the look of everything is so grimy and dirty and like rough. Like everything looks like there's like if you were to wipe your finger on it, there would be a film of like mucus and like it's disgusting.
It's grimy.
Yeah, and that's why I'm really excited for the American remake of Train to Busan. Because if he's doing that, like I think he could really pull off a really cool looking zombie. And that's kind of what like trains are like in America anyway. So
he also did a horror movie called May the Devil Take You from 2018. I have not seen it, but
I've heard it's good. I haven't seen it myself, but and then,
I know he also did a bunch of like action movies too.
Yeah. This one ended with Terror by Ryan Prowse. It's about like a white supremacist group that like is holding a monster hostage. I didn't care for this one.
I did not like this one. I think it's also because like with things are and then they were talking about like we're gonna take back the capital or something like that. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
Little too on the nose for what would come a few years later.
Yeah, I mean, it is cool to see a bunch of white supremacists get fucking murdered, but I'm very
this was the weakest one though.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah,
John, you wrote the subtitle for this one, so
yes, I did because this is my favorite one. This is VHS 99, aka Legends of the Hidden Temple.
It really is.
I'm very proud.
We'll get to that when we get to that scene.
We'll get to it, but it's that's basically what it is. All right, so first one we had is there's no frame narrative with this one. Again, this first short film is Shredding, written and directed by Maggie Levin. I hope I'm saying that right.
Mm-hmm.
I like this one a lot, actually. I'm going to be saying that a lot about these going
Shredding?
through it, because this was the punk rock one.
I think I liked the opening of Shredding more than I liked this latter half.
I just like that one guy who gets mad and says, like, I hope the Buddha gets you. I like the fact that we also explore different cultures of horror, kind of.
Yeah. It's like
something we have throughout these movies, but definitely here with the Buddha.
Yeah, and it's got more DIY, like punk vibes to everyone.
Yeah. Like they record their antics and it feels like a skate video you'd find in like the 90s.
Yeah. Like a CKY video.
Yeah, or like a Element or Birdhouse.
Yeah. Well, that's yeah. Yeah.
But this one I enjoy. Again, I like this one the most out of all these.
Wait, Shredding is your favorite short out of all of them?
No. I like this movie the most out of all of these movies.
Okay, got it.
No. This is not my favorite, but this was the most consistent for me out of all of these.
Yeah, I think the next one may be my favorite.
That next one is Suicide Bid. That one is written and directed by Johannes Roberts, who went on to direct after, or I think actually had to direct at the time of this, The Strangers Pray at Night, and the best Resident Evil movie, Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City.
Factual. Such a
dipshit Leon
That is an
Kennedy
official GateCrashers
movie.
stance. That's the best Resident Evil movie. I'm just saying right now.
God, it's so good. It's so fucking funny. Also, The Strangers Pray at Night is way better than the original, and it has one of the best horror sequences ever with the pool scene with the neon lights. Fucking love that.
Yeah, but does it have dummy Leon S. Kennedy just being a guy?
Well, listen, Jonas is responsible for both of those things, so...
I know he is.
Um,
He also did 47 Meters Down, the shark movie.
terrible.
With Mandy Moore. Oh, is it?
Oh, it's terrible. Scarlett made me watch it. Terrible.
He did the sequel, too. I guess it was popular enough to get a sequel.
Yeah. Sorry, but the other movies they did were good, but the 47 Meters Down, holy hell.
I never saw The Other Side of the Door.
No. John, what was this one about?
This one was about this girl wants to put all of her cars. Again, Dan, you might know something more about this. You were in Greek life. I was not. Put all of her cards into one sorority that she really wants to get into. And that's what they call a suicide bid. Because if you don't get this one sorority, I guess, you're pretty much ostracized from the entire campus community.
Yes.
And so these girls say, oh, we really want to hang out with you. Obviously messing with her. Force her to get in the coffin, be buried alive.
It's a part of the pledging, isn't it?
It's like hazing, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, of course, because apparently one of their pledges did it years ago, and everyone's supposed to have done it, quote unquote. But shit happens. And honestly, the way it kind of happens, it was a little terrifying, but then you were mentioning practical effects. The practical effects at the end?
Yeah. Do they lose where they buried her? Is that like...
No. It starts raining. The cops come.
Yes.
They leave her in there overnight. They come back and see it's filled with water. One of them goes down and says there's nothing in there. And then they're like, we don't talk about this. We never did any of this. Then they all wake up in coffins.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the effects in this one. Like the skeleton faces that come in. Like,
Yeah, I was going to say, I like the face of her when she's like, hey, I made a deal where she gets new sisters and I get to keep my soul or whatever it is.
there's like a really cool shot of the top of the coffin that she's in. It's like see-through and like the dirt's on it and like you see a skeleton up on it. I really liked this one. It was really well done.
This was very, I do think the feeling in the coffin definitely hit that claustrophobia.
Yeah, I think I am afraid of being buried alive. I think that will be one of my fears. That and paper.
I think it's why I won't watch that. Was that Ryan Reynolds
I guess you know
movie?
what we're doing for your bachelor party, Dan.
It's a good bit. Bury me alive.
No, just bury him in the
Big-ass
sand,
coffin.
and then I think Ethan's gonna bury you in sand, and then just kick sand in your face.
Sounds like a torture technique.
Or a kinky thing. Anyway, Ozzy's Dungeon.
What a fucking...
Written by Zoe Cooper and Flying Lotus. Directed by Flying Lotus, who did most of the bumper music for Adult Swim. I fucking love this one.
This one
Trevor!
is fucking wild. John, can you give a quick summary of what this one is about?
So, pretty much, it takes the name from a children's game show, not unlike the Nickelodeon game shows we grew up watching in the 90s. Like, again, Guts, Legends of the Hidden Temple, Double Dare. So, pretty much this girl goes on, and the whole point of the show is that, if you reach the end, you get granted a wish. So, most kids wish for something stupid. She's like, I'm going to wish for my family to not be poor anymore.
So sad.
And she's in the tunnel. She gets her leg fucked up.
Like mangled.
Just snapped like a twig.
It's so awful.
And they're like, oh, geez, the other guy won. Oh, darn. So then, years later, the host of that show wakes up kidnapped by the entire family, and they make him go through the entire thing. But it's like their own fucked up version of the challenges as revenge.
There is a moment where
And I'm not even going to talk about the ending, because then you get to the ending of it.
there is a moment where the mom is like screaming at him and she gets so like overhyped and like hot that she just takes her shirt off. And it's just like sitting in a sports bra, like sitting in a chair, like huffing. And I was like, this fucking rules.
I think out of
or
all of these,
something.
this one's my favorite. This was
It was
just
really fun. It
is
was
so
wild.
It is just,
oh, and then not only that, but because they're so poor, they can't afford medical care. The girl who was in the challenge is in a wheelchair and her legs fucked up.
it's super fucked up. And it's Trevor from GTA who they're putting through all of this.
The shit challenge.
Did she make him drink bleach, or did she pour acid on him or something at some point?
She was threatening him with acid.
Yes, she's holding like this jar.
But she makes him go through tunnels, and the tunnels are filled with their own shit.
Oh, God. What does he say? He's like, is that beans? No, she goes, that's not beans, baby. I fucking loved this one. And it really is Legends of the Hidden Temple, because, like, Legends of the Hidden Temple, they literally go to a temple in this. But there is that one, I can't remember what the characters' names were, but this dude...
Olmec.
Yeah, but there was, like, these people who pop out and grab you, and you couldn't get away from them. You were a kid. So, like, there was no way to win these games. And they say something about a Sega Dreamcast at some point. Like, she's, like, screaming at him, you want to win a Dreamcast? It is fucking wild.
And then they get to the temple, and we're spoiler into this already, but then they get to the temple, and then they get into an actual dungeon, and they discover this guy worshipped by the assistant and people dressed in the attire of, like, the show's contestants, like the bright colored shirts. And then a creature gets born out of this guy, who then kills the whole family while the daughter's like, I'm okay with this.
It just never... Once the pedal hits the metal, it doesn't stop.
No.
Yeah.
It rules. I might rewatch this one tonight just because it's just so wild.
This was my favorite out of all of them. Oh my god.
I think the mom sells it for me. She made me laugh so much.
That's not beans, baby?
Yeah. God, it was so fucking funny.
Okay.
What was the
As much as I
next-
want to keep going on about Ozzy's Dungeon, which is clearly one of the best of this entire series, I think. The Gawkers. So this is the one with the stop-motion soldiers and then Medusa. Written by Chris Lee Hill and Tyler McIntyre. Directed by Tyler McIntyre. He went on to direct Tragedy Girls and It's a Wonderful Knife. And he wrote the story. Did not direct, but he wrote the story for Five Nights at Freddy's, which just came out this past weekend.
It's fucking awful.
I'm watching it tonight.
So fucking bad. I'm so angry. I have never walked out of a movie so angry since I saw Slender Man. I hated it. The fucking animatronics are beautiful. They're incredible.
It's Jim Henson, right?
Yeah! They're in it for 10 minutes. Well, it's not Jim. He's dead.
Well, it's his company.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, Jim Henson's ghost
Jim
is the
came
one
back.
possessing these animatronics. Yeah.
They're not, like, they're in it for 10, fucking so angry. It's bad. It is a bad movie. Fuck. And I know
Hey,
so many...
speaking of bad, this one wasn't that great either.
I really liked so this one is about these kids who the beginning is just these two action figures, like they're like little green army men this kid is playing with, and then like you've been seeing this throughout the film, and then it turns into them being like peeping toms on the neighbor, but then the neighbor turns out to be a Gorgon, which is a Medusa.
Yep.
It was cool, but I really liked the part with the soldiers where he was making them kiss. And then the other kid walked in. He's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Nothing. Get out." I think that was my favorite part of this one.
I did like the first half, but then she turned into Medusa, and I was laughing hysterically.
Yeah, just weird.
It was. Yeah.
But yeah, overall, this was.
Yes.
She did, and I like the fact that they're both just like, we're sorry, too late, stone, dead. Yeah, this one's just okay. I didn't like this one. This was, I think, the weakest one out of all of them, honestly, if I had to pick one.
Yeah. Oh, she was in Dix the Musical, the mom from Ozzy. Sorry, I was looking her up. Dix the Musical, another absolute mindfuck. But what was the last?
It's not releasing anywhere near me in the near future, so I'm just gonna wait for digital at this point.
I really loved the last one in this movie.
To Hell and Back.
Yeah.
It is wild. Like, this is just, again, this one was To Hell and Back, written and directed by Vanessa and Joseph Winter. They were also the directors of the Shudder original Deadstream, which I have not seen.
Deadstream rules. I watched it again this week. It is so fucking funny. Sorry. Really love Deadstream.
And so this one is about two guys who are hired by a coven to film, I think it's like right on the edge of 99, like right on the edge before Y2K.
Because the old
to film a ritual, which is this coven, and as they're performing the ritual, they get sucked in by accident and they are sent to literal hell.
Yep.
Where they have to fight through hell to get back, and they also meet Mabel.
Yeah. I
love Mabel.
Mabel was wild. Like, this one, I really liked how they shot it, so it actually looked like they were in hell. Like it, I guess they were just like in the desert or something.
Either in a desert or they were like in a quarry or something, and they made it all look dark and everything.
This one was directed really well. I really liked this one.
This one was pretty cool. I like the way it was shot. I like the way that, like, honestly, it felt like the makings of it could be really funny, like a buddy comedy.
Yeah,
just two dudes accidentally get sent to hell. It's like Bill and Ted, but
yeah, just like Bill and Ted, but they go to hell instead of through time.
Well, no, they went to hell.
Did they?
Have you not seen Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey?
No.
Oh yeah, yeah. Bill and Ted get sent to hell by evil robot clones of them, and then they trick the Grim Reaper into letting him out.
Oh,
fucking weird ass movie, and I love it. Anyway,
yeah. I don't think I've ever seen anything but the first one once. Nothing against
the
it.
other two are very good movies. I like them a lot.
Yeah. I think 99 is probably the most solid.
99 is the most consistent for me, I think.
Yeah.
It's the one where I enjoy it the most. I mean, again, I don't like the Gawkers, but the rest I think are all very, very solid shorts.
Yeah. All right, Ethan, finish us off, Ethan.
Yeah, so lastly, we have VHS 85, alternatively known as Oops, Old Magic Water Guns.
This one came out like last week.
It did. It's very new.
This is very, very new. I think
we start off with with David Bruckner coming back to do the frame narrative Total Copy, which I can best describe as Gabriel from Malignant.
Oh yeah,
that's all I could think of.
Yeah.
That's all I could think of.
I'll be honest. I completely forgot that's what this was. I wasn't a fan of this one.
He wanted to fuck that monster. It was like an
all
alien.
I could think of was Gabriel from Malignant.
I'm the only one who could discover this. Me and me only.
I did like that the alien has been sitting in this testing chamber just watching TV, and it just only watches workout videos, and at the end when it has the bodies, it's making them do the workout that it couldn't.
Okay, no, the ending was funny.
It was very
the rest
funny.
of it not so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then we've got No Wake, written and directed by Mike P. Nelson, which rules.
This fucking rocks.
It's so good. I think it's 7 friends go camp at
7
the lake.
because we'll get to it.
Yeah. They go camping at the lake. 5 of them head out onto the water. And then they're all shot and killed by a sniper.
Brutal.
It's
I'm talking shit's flying, brain matter is flying everywhere.
Mouths are just blown apart.
Yeah,
everything.
Through the back of the head, out the jaw. So it's just that one was wild.
Have those 5 come back to life? Yeah. And so they get back to shore and find that the 2 who'd stayed behind are just dead. They aren't coming back.
What I liked is their injuries don't heal magically.
Yeah.
They still got holes in them.
They're just should we be alive?
Yeah, so then they realize that the water of the lake had somehow made them immortal. And decide to go get revenge on the attackers, and that's where it ends. Nothing else happens with this. It doesn't get followed up on at all. Maybe. Who knows?
And then
who knows?
what do we get into next?
And then we've got God of Death, which was written and directed by Gigi Salguero, who did the horror series La Quinceañera and also directed episodes of The Purge. This is the one about the 1985 Mexico City earthquake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like the beginning of this.
Yes,
beginning's really well done.
I really liked the beginning. I was like, oh, this isn't gonna have some like horror. Like this is like actually scary because like earthquakes happen and you can't do anything. Like,
but then we get closer and then it gets supernatural. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, that took me out of it completely. I didn't like this one. As like soon as it hit that stuff, I was like, oh, never mind, I'm out.
Yeah, that was me too.
I
like seeing all the stuff like about the news reporters and people. I'm like, okay, I'm getting invested. Then most of them die. I'm like, oh, okay, this is like interesting. And then
So then after this, then we have TKNOGD, which was directed by Natasha Kamani and written by Zoe Cooper. This one's about why VR will kill you.
What in the lawnmower man shit was this?
I hated this one.
I don't know. It was not good.
No,
it was like
this was bad.
Art. I was like, this is terrible. So while I was watching it, all I could think about was this thing called Butter Dance. And I don't know if I've shown you both this, but it's a video.
Oh, Jesus.
It was a performance art of a woman who there's like not hundreds, but enough sticks of butter for someone to stand on them and dance. I think she dances to Adele, and as she's dancing on this butter, it's like melting and she's falling, and she keeps getting up covered in butter and just like dances and keeps falling. It is the funniest fucking video. And it probably has some like deep art meaning, but someone's just dancing on butter and keeps falling down made me laugh. But that's all I could think about is art performances and how I think they're silly. This was bad. This was like bad.
This was pretty bad. This was like, although I will say, going off of your practical thing before, practical effects, the ending.
Yeah, her face being... up.
That was cool.
What was it?
That was cool.
They kept making iPhone joke. Like, it was like, oh my God. Like,
yeah, that I
stop.
hated that. This is my iPhone. Okay, so I put it to my eye. Like, fuck off.
It was so bad.
So then after that, then we've got Ambrosia, which brings back Mike P. Nelson to write and direct for no reason whatsoever. He's just back doing the second short of this film. This one's about a family who are gathering together to celebrate their daughter's rite of passage with an old family tradition. At one point, the daughter gets shot with a water pistol by one of her younger cousins, which was given to her by some folks in an RV. The family all gather around to watch this video of the daughter's rite of passage. And we see her killing these 7 people at a lake. Oh, wait.
Surprise!
We saw this earlier.
I loved that.
It's so good.
I thought that was I was like, as soon as I saw the truck, I'm like, wait a minute.
I remember you messaging me like saying, I recognize that truck. I'm like,
I was like, wait a minute, this rules. And then we get to the happens. And then the police come. The family's like, fight for your family. And they all get blown the fuck away.
That scene rules. What is, like, she's talking to her aunt and she goes, and you made that poisoned, she made poisoned chili or something that killed 7 people. But then that, like, is like a older woman who, like, goes out like a fucking badass. She goes, fucking take me alive. Like, wild.
It honestly, turns out that just crazy.
It's so crazy. But then it turns out that the water pistol was filled with the magic water. So even with the family, like, all decided to either go out fighting or kill themselves to stop for shame or whatever, a bunch of them end up surviving in extreme agony.
Well, I think what's funny is that she, like, takes herself out. She's alive. And then she's like, wait, I'm going to shoot the coroner. And then she tries to kill herself again. But then she's like, I'm still alive. What the hell? And she's taken in.
Yeah. So good. And then we've got the big one, which is Dream Kill, directed by Scott Derrickson, who did The Exorcism of Emily Rose. He did Sinister, he did Doctor Strange, and he did The Black Phone. And it was also written by Derrickson and his very common screen partner, C. Robert Cargill, who wrote Sinister, Doctor Strange, Black Phone.
Was also a big
Used to
film
write the-
critic in the internet, like back when it first birthed. Like he was one of the big Ain't It Cool New guys back when we all thought Ain't It Cool News was fine and not run by a piece of shit asshole.
Oh, what a terrible person.
He's good though. See Robert Cargill from all the
Cargill's
things
great.
I've seen.
Cargill's
He's great.
great, but-
Fuck Harry Knowles. And then he was on Spill.com, which if you were like me growing up with a bunch of film internet critics, Spill.com video reviews, the animated ones were a lot big one for me. So I was very happy to see him get like this big screenwriting career afterwards.
Yeah, but this one is
This is an actual movie.
yeah, this is just a straight up movie.
Yeah.
Like this one has the look and vibe of an actual movie.
Yeah, it's like I'd like try to think how I could succinctly describe it, and I can't because it's like a straight up like actual like full film with a full story, and it's like someone's getting premonitions, and they send video tapes to the police about it, which is then taken into murder scenes.
Someone's getting premonitions, which may or may not tie into another Scott Derrickson film, as confirmed by him. Hint, hint, wink, wink. Just got a sequel announced today.
Yeah, this one's great.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this one. I thought, for the one guy, it was him or his partner. I thought it was Ethan Hawke, and I was like, wait a fucking minute. And then I realized it wasn't Ethan
It would
Hawke.
have been hilarious if they got Ethan Hawke.
I would have been losing my shit if they got Ethan Hawke for this.
You know, the one guy's he's in both Sinisters. He plays the cop in the two Sinister films.
He's also in the Black Phone, and he's in It, Chapter 2.
Is Sinister the one with the lawnmower? Where the kid pushed the lawnmower?
He's one of Ethan Hawke.
Yeah. Everything is great about that movie except the monster. It just looks like an emo kid from Hot Topic. In a suit. I hated that. But the rest of it's so fucking good. There's like a really good shot of him on the couch that like blurs into morning. But
Not a fan of Bagul.
No. Fucking so dumb. Dreamkill fucking
That's his name, actually, is
Yeah,
Bughuul. Bagul.
I have watched this film twice in the past week. I watched it last night and I watched it the day it came out. Only Dreamkill and
Ozzy?
No Wake. Dreamkill and No, like the Ambrosia
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh, sorry. I'm thinking, okay, from this one.
Yeah. I think this is the weakest one for me. I was like, this isn't good. Like, it took me... I wish... Like, I really liked Ambrosia and No Wake. Like, I really think that was really cool. But the two between it took me so far out. Because, like, I was in there for Gods of Death. And then it switched. And I was like, oh, I don't like that. And then it followed up with No God. And I was like, oh, fuck. I hate this. So I was, like, taken out of it by the time I got back to Ambrosia.
I'm a big fan of it, but I'm also a fan of Derrickson and Cargill when they work as a team together.
Yeah, they
like
were
Dan,
great. I just think overall it's just not a solid. Like those two.
Yeah, it's
are
let
great.
down by the frame and those
Yeah.
two middle ones,
Yeah.
really.
It just didn't do it for me. I
But I was just
love
looking
it.
at the
I
cast
was a
of
big
them.
fan of it, but I think I was also just kind of blown away that I'm like, oh, we made like an actual like movie here.
Yeah, but I
I
mean,
was just looking at the cast of that and Dreamkill, and Tifa from Final Fantasy's in it as well,
Huh.
apparently.
yeah, it was like I really liked that in the other one, but I don't think overall it is as solid as the other ones. Like the other ones have like one that I don't like, but this had like
Oh,
3.
Derrickson's son played the emo kid.
Huh? Good for him. A little nepo to be in the VHS movies. All right, so we've gone through everything. What is your favorite story?
Overall, or are we
Yeah.
picking from each film?
Let's go with overall.
Oh fuck.
I really do like the Radio Silence one from the first film.
I think I genuinely might be going with Ozzy's Dungeon.
I think it's Ozzy's Dungeon too, mostly because it made me laugh. Like it was just like so
It was the
funny.
most entertained I was throughout all of these movies.
Yeah. Like it was just funny as shit.
Riveting.
Yeah. They said the next one is going to be in space or with
Announced at Comic-Con this past couple weeks ago.
more horror vibes. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
I do wonder if they're going to do a... Do you think they're going to do another period piece? Or are they going to, like... What if they set
I
it
hope
far in the
not.
future?
I think at a certain point, I don't really love the period piece-ness of it. I would like more from, like, all over. So I hope they just do... Like, they just, like, sci-fi horror. And they do all those.
It's just going to be... Each short is just going to be Jason X.
That, you know what?
I'm fine with that.
Jason X fucking rocks.
Yeah, Jason X is a fucking great movie. That's my second favorite Friday movie.
They're so... That movie's so fucking wild.
David Cronenberg shows up for a hot minute in it.
He
For
does!
why? I don't know. I don't know, but he does.
He's a doctor.
Star Discovery.
Oh, Ethan, your computer's starting to go. So we gotta get out of here. So...
It's gonna blow. Run.
Yeah, I hope you all have a wonderful Halloween. We will see you again soon. The seasons will start in January. We'll probably have interviews and things like that between now and then. Maybe another special. But thanks for listening. You can find us at GateCrashers.fan, where you can find all of our reviews, analysis, and all the different things that we do. And you can find us on all social media at GateCrashersPod. Thanks.